Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Movie Bucket here on Screen Stealer. So if you grabbed your popcorn, your soft drink, maybe even a soft pretzel, it's time to talk about another movie. I'm Brooke, and what are they going to do? Repossess the kid?
I am not paying. I
I'm
am
not
not
paying.
paying.
And what are they going to do about it? Period.
Literally can't do anything.
Repossess the kid.
Yeah.
And hi, I'm River, and you chose books. I chose looks. That's why I have a husband, and you don't. And I don't have a husband, thank God.
I don't think Miss Honey wants a husband. That's just my opinion.
Girl, I want Miss Honey to be my husband, if you know. Or I'll be the husband. I'll be the husband, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And hola, I am Eduardo. And why are all these women married? Why?
I ask myself that every day.
Not Miss Honey.
Not Miss Honey.
She is a
Not
single
Miss Pretzel.
woman.
She's a single woman living the dream of cottagecore life. I'm jealous,
That's mother.
as she deserves.
Yes, so as we are now in July, it is now time for River's birthday takeover! Yay!
Yay.
River, I know you've been looking forward to this. We're all looking forward to it. I know, Eduardo, you're also very much looking forward to this when it's your turn.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But,
just fun to
it's
have the
fun.
power.
Well, speaking from experience here, part of the fun of it is just being able to look at everyone on the panel and be like, okay, so this is what we're doing for a month. I have full power and full control, and you won't have to deal with it.
Yes. But as we see in this movie, you can choose if you want to use your power for good or for evil. And we sometimes choose evil, but mostly we choose good.
I will say this, we made it through a successful year of film selections where no one chose Moulin Rouge, and because of that, we're living our best life. Okay,
Or Stuart Little.
Or
So,
Stuart Little.
Yeah.
There you go.
And you
Or
know,
Airbud.
and you see, I could have done that this month,
Yeah.
and I did not. I chose good.
That's perfect.
Such a good friend. So what River did select today, though, is Matilda from 1996. Directed by Danny DeVito, which I forgot he directed this too. Obviously I know he's in it and he narrates the damn thing, but I forgot he was director. But also starring, including but not limited to, Mara Wilson, Embeth Davidtz, Danny DeVito, Rhea Perlman, Pam Ferris, Paul Rubens, and Tracy Walter, Brian Levinson, Kiyomi Daviel. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I'm sorry. And others.
Yes.
And plenty.
And lots of children playing extras in this movie. It is a rewatch for all three of us here on the panel, and a movie that River has wanted to make us watch for quite a bit. Take the floor. Floor is yours.
Yes. So here's the thing. With my month, in being the first time we're doing this, I kind of wanted to choose 4 movies and to kind of encapsulate who I am and kind of like my tea, you know what I mean? Like what I'm giving, my vibe, if you will. And I wanted to go with something that I know we've all seen. And I wanted to start with something that was familiar to everyone, but was very meaningful to me, because I don't even remember when was the first time I saw this movie, but like I remember watching this movie since I remember watching movies, period. You know what I mean? Like constantly on TV and all of that. And whenever I could rent it, I would as well and rewatch it many times while I had the tape.
Mm-hmm.
And I always related to Matilda, to Miss Honey also in a way. Like I've always related to this movie. It's been a comfort movie for forever for me. I just love it. It's part of my life. And I think it's the perfect movie to be like, to start this and to kind of go off that. Besides Shrek 2, but we've already talked about that. But yeah, that's why I feel like it's the perfect kickoff for this month.
Yeah. For me personally, like I love that you made this choice. It was obviously part of my March Madness bracket. So I also have a very deep connection with this movie. It was always on heavy rotation in my house. So I constantly rewatched it. It was, it's been a while since I've seen Matilda, and also it was very interesting to watch it in English for the first time because every single time I've watched it up until this point has been in Spanish, and so it's so crazy to hear the actual voices of these actors and actually hear the original jokes that were made or the actual lines of dialogue that were written and said in the obviously original language, and how much of that dialogue changed. And yeah, it just was a very different experience. But yeah, Matilda means a lot to me. There's a lot of nostalgia attached to Matilda, and yeah, it's just very nice to go back and reminisce on those times where everything was just a little easier.
It's one, if you have Letterboxd, like it's one of my top four. The
Mhm.
other one is Shrek, which we talked about. The other one is Mulan, which we also kind of mentioned why we wouldn't talk about it. And the other one, I'm not gonna say which one, but we will eventually talk about it. Still. So
It's
this
really
was the other one that I'm just like, this is the one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of my top movies.
Yeah, it's really interesting talking about like what's on our top four because I don't even remember what I have listed on my top four at this point because I change it a decent amount.
Yeah, I know Clue is in there.
Yeah, we
Clue's-
you can change
Clue will
content,
never
yeah.
leave. Don't worry about that. But
Yeah.
no, I have Clue, Breakfast Club, Knives Out, and Akira, and maybe we'll be talking about some of those movies at a different point this year. No spoilers, none of that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Allegedly.
I mean, technically, we've already talked about Akira, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So yeah, I've seen this movie several times. It was one of those things. It was on the ABC Family rotation growing up. So anytime ABC was having their movie marathons on holidays and stuff, and just general weekend movies, this is one of the movies that ABC Family would air a lot. And then of course, I mean, certain people in your family like it. I thought this movie, coming into it, I thought I liked this movie fine. I didn't have like a special deep connection with it. But I thought this movie was like good coming in. I didn't think it was anything crazy amazing. I have also seen the Broadway production of Matilda and the remake that is basically just the Broadway version getting turned into a movie.
I want to watch that. Yeah.
I will tell you right now, and I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way. They are both better than this movie for personal taste.
Okay.
For personal taste, I think that
After I see it, I'll tell you if I agree or not.
well, the big thing for me is that this is set in the U.S. and it's Roald Dahl, and I always think Roald Dahl's stuff is just better set in England because that's where he wrote all of these things for the most part. So the musical and the movie musical are both in England, and I think that actually helps a lot of the subtlety in the plot that doesn't really translate as super well to setting it in the US. And then also the music is just really good. It's a really good score, really good production, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about the movie musical today because that's not what
But it would be really interesting, like me as someone that like I've never seen neither of the movie musical or the musical. I think to me, I'm like interested to see where the songs would be, like how they would incorporate songs into the story in the way that the story would be told with the songs. Like I'm very interested to see how that is done. I'm excited to watch a different version of the story. Yeah.
I will say personally, I knew of Matilda the musical. I've always wanted to watch it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I know a little bit about some of the changes, and I know one song, which is the one where they sing the ABCs. I don't remember specifically.
Which is the best song in that musical. That or Revolting Children, because Revolting Children is also just like...
I have heard that Revolting Children is very good. I haven't listened to it yet. So I know that a lot of people do prefer the musical. I understand that. I haven't personally watched it, so I cannot give my opinion on that specifically. But from what I've heard, like, I think this may be a situation of nostalgia. Some people are gonna like this movie more because of nostalgia, and some people are gonna like the other one better because of what you said, Brooke. No, the music and the actual setting is gonna be probably more appealing to some other people. So I agree with you, River. I will come back to you once I watch it and give you my opinion.
And here's the thing: is this movie?
I was gonna say, for those of you who are in the US, both of those movies are on Netflix. So if you want to watch them back to back, they are both on the same streaming service. You have nowhere else to go. So, were you gonna say, River? I'm sorry.
I was thinking, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say, like you said, Eduardo, the nostalgia factor. Like, I love this movie. I am not here to say that this movie is technically perfect. I'm not gonna defend like whatever critique people have about, like, not just you, but like whatever critique people have about this movie to a certain degree, I think is valid, right?
Yeah.
I just don't care about that. Like, it's just, I love this movie for other reasons and it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of movies that I feel that way about, and it's fine. That's just how I feel. And everyone's non-binary T is valid, not just mine.
She, we, they, them, non-binary T's,
Period. And I was you mentioned, Brooke, that you forgot that this movie was directed by Danny DeVito. The Letterboxd review that I want to read also forgot, because they said, I quote, "I always thought the low angles were to show the perspective of the child, but then I noticed it was directed by Danny DeVito."
That's just how he sees things.
I'm sorry.
That is just
that's a read. Oh,
that, you know what? That is why I'm on Letterboxd. That's just.
And I think Danny would love that. I think Danny DeVito would think that's hilarious.
You would laugh at that. I'm crying.
Yeah.
Literally crying.
It might be a good time now to just talk about Danny DeVito, like in this movie. First off, when it comes to his filmography, I've never really looked at his work as a director, but he has a surprisingly deep catalog of directing films. Nothing that's like, I would argue that out of his movie, this is his most successful movie he's directed. I'll just say that. But I didn't realize how many movies he had directed. He's done a lot of production work too, and he is a producer on this movie? Question mark? Yes. So
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got a lot of, his hands are all over this movie. I'm just going to go ahead and say one of my bigger problems with the film is Danny DeVito's narration, and I'm going to go ahead and sip my drink while the two panelists.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I mean, I don't agree, but that's not. I'm just like, that's reasonable.
I just feel like it's
like, I enjoy it, but like that's fun. That's fair.
It's not necessarily the quality of the narration, because I think he does like a fine job. It's the fact that he is supposed to be like the omniscient, out of place narrator here, but he's also playing Matilda's dad, who is just like a schmuck, for lack of a better word.
Daddy, you're a crook.
Daddy, you're a crook.
You're a crook.
Yeah, so like,
one of us should have put that in our
yeah. I just think it might have been easier, or maybe even just a better choice, to either have someone else playing the dad, or honestly, rather, someone else narrating the movie. Because really, the narration, that would have taken someone, 5 hours in a sound booth probably to get the narration done of this movie. There's not much. There's not a ton in this film. But it does kind of suck me out of moments where it's like, Danny DeVito is commenting on the actions of Danny DeVito.
Sure.
No, I get that. Now that because here's the thing. Now that you say it, I'm like, yeah, I don't dislike his narration. You know what I mean? But I do agree that I would have preferred if it would have been someone else.
Yeah,
because I would prefer you like directed and play the dad, and then not do the narration, then have someone else play the dad, for example. Because I think like he was perfect for this role. The cast for me here, like I love. I'm obsessed. Like, to me, this movie is like it's camp. The set, the clothing, like the music, like it's the special effects is just like it's camp. To me, like
the green screen on this movie is crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it up if no one else did.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely,
It's
absolutely.
insane and it's really bad, but you know what? It gives it that slight charm, of like it was
Right.
that time and like I don't know. To me, just like I cannot really critique it because, well, I can critique it, but I cannot fault it. I think that's the word. Like
Like I would prefer them have that than not have those scenes at all because it
yeah,
adds to the movie to me. Like you know, it's like I said, it's not technically perfect, but like it's just so fun.
yeah, it is.
It's just fun. Sometimes when I watch a movie, I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
For sure. And again, the effects were not going to be like a big critique because I mean, when this movie came out in the mid '90s, like I don't expect it to have the green screen standards of something that came out today. And then also the budget for this movie was not very big, even for the time period. And like I don't expect a movie that doesn't have the budget to have really, really, really great effects to have really, really great effects. And also, it's a Roald Dahl movie. It's supposed to have that little element of whimsy to it and like
Exactly.
out of the world, like things that you wouldn't be able to see in real life. They need to have those done. These things need to be in this movie. It's not even a situation of do it well or don't do it at all. You cannot not do it. Like you have to do it. Like you cannot do
it's an intrinsic part of the movie. I agree. Yeah. It's intrinsic to the movie.
Like the hammer throw scene is needed for this movie.
Yeah.
You can't not do that. And I will say, fun fact, they did shoot most of that scene practically, which is stunning to me.
That's crazy.
The little girl that was playing Amanda, they literally have her in pigtails with what's her name? Pam Ferris is literally spinning her around while she's connected to a wire. So they sped up the footage clearly. Yeah. But But and then when they throw her, she was literally hooked up to a rig when they threw her.
Because you can see she was like sitting so straight. She was just like.
And then when she's going through the grass, they have her on like a little cart that they were like. It was on a little trap.
It's so good. It's so good. That pigtail scene is so iconic.
Yeah,
like
and
so many iconic scenes. That's.
And I wanted to bring something up. In Spanish, that pigtail scene obviously has become a huge meme here. Also, the way that they changed, like the actual script of that scene to Spanish goes a little bit something like this. Amanda, what are you wearing? What are you talking about, Miss Trunchbull? My braids, my little braids. Are you African, Amanda? That's literally what she tells her. Are you African, Amanda? ¿Eres africana, Amanda?
Okay, so is pigtails not like a thing in Mexico? Do they not call them that?
No, we don't call them pigtails. We call them like I don't really remember the word. It's colas de caballo. So it could be like, oh, are you a horse or something? That's the only thing that could be close to it. But since they are actual braids, they went for, oh, my braids. Are you African, Amanda? Which is crazy. It's crazy. And so
I'm uncomfortable laughing for the record.
No, because it's wild. It's like,
wild.
Why?
It's
where?
crazy.
What?
Yeah,
Who approved that decision? Like,
I mean, it was Mexico in the 90s or early 2000s when they dubbed this. So it was it was appropriate, I guess, at that time. I guess I appreciate Miss Trunchbull trying to tell the kids that they should not appropriate African culture.
Sure.
But it is crazy because to me, like, it's become so iconic that when it actually, like, the actual line came up, I was like, oh, yeah, it's so different. And then looking back, I'm like, yeah, that choice of like, are you African, Amanda, is crazy. It's insane.
Sometimes that translations it's wild.
It's crazy.
It's wild.
So yeah, are you African, Amanda? Amanda, tell me, are you African? I need to know if you're African.
You can't just ask someone if they're if they're African.
You can just ask someone white.
She could be South African.
There you go.
Sure. Sure.
Before we move on, I just want to talk a little bit again about Danny DeVito, because one of the things that I found out later on in life about the production of this movie is that while he was playing a horrible dad, terrible, the worst, he was actually being a great father figure for Meryl Wilson during the filming and production of this movie, because of, I don't remember exactly whatever was happening with her family, but she was having
her mom had breast cancer, and she actually passed away, I think, like 4 or 5 months before the movie came out. So there was a lot going on.
But the what I do remember is the fact that like he was helping her a lot, like he was, you know, being kind of a parent guardian kind of thing as well, like, you know, not only directing and like co-acting with her, but also like taking care of her and helping the family where he could. And I think that's awesome, and it shows how I'm not gonna say like how amazing of an actor he is, but just like the range, you know what I mean? Like he can play evil and be nice, you know what I mean? I'm not saying he's like the greatest actor, but
no, but yeah, it definitely shows that like how this is acting. We have to remind ourselves that this is acting. A lot of people take like when an actor plays an evil role in a movie, a lot of people just forget that that's exactly what it is. It's a role. It's not the actual personality of the actor. So it's nice to see like when the actors are just incredibly nice and incredibly thoughtful. Like I remember like when they were talking about the scene where Matilda is dancing and has fully taken over control of her powers, and they were saying how
one
Mara
of my
Wilson,
favorite scenes, by the way.
yeah, an iconic scene. But yeah, how Mara Wilson was so uncomfortable with dancing and watching people, like having people watch her dance. And Danny DeVito said, okay, I will dance with you off screen, and so you're not the only one dancing. And actually, all of the crew is going to be dancing. So they created a whole dance party just so Mara could feel comfortable doing that scene, which, you know, it just, I want to give huge props to Danny DeVito just for being an awesome guy to this girl that was just having the toughest time of her life. And yeah, it's just really nice to see those beautiful stories that come out of those dark times to some people. So yeah, shout out to you, Danny DeVito. I love your work.
Yeah. Especially when what we
Are we
what
done
we
with
know
the Mean Girls
about...
references in this damn episode yet? Can we
No,
stop?
no, absolutely not. Danny DeVito, I love your work.
If I had
You know what? It was
coming
Pride Month, and we are carrying on, okay? Because it's not, we're not gonna be gay just on Pride Month. We gotta keep it
If I
going.
had known this was going to turn into the Mean Girls reference episode, I would have been prepared. However,
You should always be prepared.
But
to
if
pull out
if
a
you
Mean
stay
Girls
ready,
quote.
you ain't gotta get ready, bitch. You know that.
Rest in power to Chief Vane. But yeah, so Danny DeVito actually, I think, does a really good job directing this movie. I think he does like the choices he makes kind of helps take up some material from Roald Dahl that on its own doesn't really feel like a Roald Dahl story for lots of it. But the way he shoots it and the angles he chooses and the lenses he's using, and honestly, just he did a really good job selling us that fantasy. And I think it's something to be commended. So yeah, hats off to Danny DeVito for that. I think he also does. I mean, he's an asshole. He plays the schmuck very well. Like, I mean, I don't know what to say. Not calling Danny DeVito an asshole.
Like funny as hell.
The character's the asshole, not Danny DeVito.
Harry
Danny DeVito is a
an
national
asshole.
treasure, and he should be respected as such. Thank you very much.
But like what I wanted to say is like the playing an evil character, but still being funny while playing an evil character. Like that's impressive, I think. Like here, I really like I said, this is camp to me. I'm not saying this is like a serious like great performance, but like I really enjoyed the acting performances here. They are not top notch. They are not like, you know what I mean? It's not. To me, it's what I want. It's exactly what I want. It's cheesy. It's not the best, and it's perfect for what I need from this movie. Like I love it. Especially I don't know her name, but like the woman that plays the mom. Oh my god,
Rhea Perlman.
like oh my god, so good.
Yeah, I think exactly that. Like this movie is not looking to be Oscar nominated and be adored by like the critics and stuff like that. That's not what it's looking to do. It's trying to tell a comedic, fantastical story for kids, and it's the way that it does it. It's really well done. And it's very funny, and it's understandable for kids like to understand like this acting choices, and like it's not too serious because you also need to take into account that you're playing like a very abusive, horrible parents, and you have to make a way that children are still comfortable watching this movie. And so having this over the top, like crazy performances that are stupid and dumb, I think really makes it super appealing to the audience that we're trying to reach. And I really appreciated that as well. And like, I also like want to give huge props to Pam Ferris's Miss Trunchbull because she also does that in spades.
Iconic.
You know, she is scary enough to be like the villain, but she has a lot of like things in her performance that are really funny and are really interesting. And I think like what you're like when you leave this movie, when you finish watching this movie, the things that you're going to remember are Matilda, Miss Honey, and Miss Trunchbull. That's what you're going to remember out of this movie. And so I want to give those three performances the biggest props because those were, I think, exactly what we were looking for in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of things I want to tackle on here. One, Rhea Perlman, if you watched Barbie, she is the actress that plays Ruth Handler in Barbie.
Yes.
So modern day audiences, there's your point of view for Rhea Perlman. She's also famously was on Cheers, which is a really, really great American sitcom. Highly recommend if you've not watched Cheers. I will say, has it aged super great? No, but for the time period, it was television in the US. Which then led to Frasier, which has aged like freaking wine. So there you go. Then I want to specifically talk about Pam Ferris, who I think out of everyone in this movie is the single best performance in this film. I think you cannot we can't undersell how good of a job she does playing Trunchbull in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
This is probably her biggest role, I'll say. She's also in Harry Potter. She plays Aunt Marge in Harry Potter. But beyond that, but beyond that, this is probably the biggest thing she's ever done in film. She's done a lot of TV work, and she's also a theater actress.
Of course.
But yeah, she's still doing her thing, and I'm happy to see her, still acting and still doing stuff. And I think in this movie, she got injured a lot on set in this movie, by the way. Don't know if anyone knows about
I would imagine.
Yeah,
so the scene with the hammer
spinning globe,
right? So they had wires wrapped around her hands so that way she wouldn't intentionally throw the child, right? And this force on the swings became too much. It ripped part of her finger off, and she had to get 7 stitches to get it sewn back on. Then the scene where Matilda throws the chalk and you get all that dust in the room, right? Chalk dust got in her eye. She had to go to the hospital several times to get her eyes flushed out because of all of the dust that got in her eyes. So woman went through it for this movie, but I'm going to give her massive props because there is, out of everyone in this movie, she does her damnedest with the material she is given. She sells that menacingness that this character just needs to have at all times. And there's really not any, I don't know of any actor from this time period that I think could have played this role better than her, really. So, no notes.
Props to you. Yeah.
You were talking about, I'm going to put two things together because her performance and then Danny DeVito's direction with the way that they did the character introduction was amazing, I think. With first showing just her talking to Harry and buying the car and not seeing her face, just hearing her voice and seeing a little silhouette. And then when we see her for the first time at the school, they show the feet. Then they show her hands. They don't they show a little bit and they show everyone being scared, the music, the way that we are introduced to this character is perfect as well. It's just everything about it. I just think it's really well done. When it comes to this character specifically, I think it's perfect. The clothes, iconic. Love it. Not just for like this character, but for the whole movie, but like hers. So good. I want to do that for like a costume one day.
Yeah.
Like the one with the sweatshirt where she has like the balls and stuff. Like,
oh hell yeah.
Yeah. That one.
Also talking about Crunchbowl and Danny DeVito as a director, I really like the choices that Danny did, specifically when doing the close-ups on Miss Trunchbull, because they are genuinely disgusting. They're really gross. They're terrifying. Like when she's eating the chocolate and she has chocolate all over her teeth, and she's just like sneering at you. The way that like they put the lens in her mouth when she's saying, "I'm big, you're small, and there's nothing that you can do about it." Like the close-ups to her mouth and her teeth is crazy, and it really gives you that like vibe of like, oh, this woman is not only crazy, not is she evil, but she's also like, they talk about her like in a way that's like, oh, she's like disturbing to look at. And I do agree with that, specifically in those scenes, because it's crazy the way that we do with the close-ups on her mouth and her face and like all like the imperfections of her face. It's truly insane, and those decisions were crazy. I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they managed to get dirt on her gums in every single scene. Every time that she showed up, she had.
They would make her eat beans before filming.
I would not like.
Something. Eat dirt, eat shit like Divine.
Yeah, I would not doubt that at all, because like Pam Ferris is clearly like, she doesn't look like this normally. She doesn't look this disheveled at any moment in time.
I think she was made to like also look physically disturbing to enhance how disturbing she is with her actions and all of that. You know what I mean? Like it's to be visual as well.
Yeah, I also want to give huge props to Pam for doing that and for being able to handle all of the, all of the, when you're a character and your character is constantly described as ugly, that's not going to be easy for your psyche as an actor. So I want to give huge props
to be able to separate very well.
Yeah, so I want to give huge props to Pam for not handling that and for doing this character justice and actually being incredibly terrifying and disturbing in this movie.
Yeah, I want to also shout out the production, like set design a little bit, because also like all of the houses, like everything, like they really look like their characters. And I'm mentioning that because I noticed that when I watch like more recent films, like that is something that is lacking a little bit for me. Like the set, like the houses, I want them to look like the characters that are living there, and it looks like they are living there actually. Like I don't know. I just love the way that this movie looks. It's like specific, like everything about it. I want to, since we're coming off of Pride Month, I just want to bring a meme real quick and shout out to the outfits, because I would wear every single one of these outfits, but this is so funny. It says lesbian fashion spectrum.
Oh, truly it is. It really is.
And truly, honestly, like, yes.
It really is, yes.
Like, yes.
Yeah.
I would wear all of these outfits, unironically.
Yeah.
So, I know what my fellow panelists think of this film, and I have been rather kind to this point. And I think now is the time to start getting into my critique, because judging based on what my fellow panelists feel and the scores that they have given, I do not think that there is going to be much critique coming from them. So, not saying that they don't have problems and they have every right to speak them up, but I feel like there are probably more coming from me. So I'll just put it that way. So my first problem, and I feel like I'm about to get crucified for this, but I don't really care. Outside of Danny DeVito, Pam Ferris, and I'll give Rhea Perlman a pass too, because I don't think they really gave her much to work with in this movie. I think every other acting performance in this film is wooden as hell. And it was really hard for me to get through parts of it. I think Mara Wilson, I'm going to give every single child in this film a pass, because one, you're a kid, you are developing your craft, you are getting better. That is nobody's business to tell you that you are bad at what you are doing. Okay? Yeah. Nobody's. However, Embeth Davidtz, you're not getting the same pass from me. God, every time Miss Honey was on screen in this movie, it just irks me. And maybe it's not fair, but again, we've talked about it before. I'm not in the business of being fair with my critique. The actress that plays Miss Honey in the musical version is so genuine and so like it just doesn't feel the same now that I've seen that version. To me, it's kind of like watching the Karate Kid remake and then going back and watching the original Karate Kid, right? Like the actor that plays Mr. Miyagi in the original has nothing wrong with him. Like he's a good actor, he's doing his job. And then you watch Jackie Chan sobbing in his car about his wife dying in a car wreck. And like it's kind of hard to emotionally connect to the original Mr. Miyagi after you've watched Jackie Chan do such a really good job. It's kind of the same way. I think also a part of that just comes from the fact that we don't really get a ton of time to be with Miss Honey as a character outside of Matilda. The musical fixes that because they give her an entire part of a song that like fully tells you how she feels and emotionally what she is going through. Okay, quick note. The song from the musical When I Grow Up is one of the best songs in any musical theater production of any show that has ever existed. I stand corrected earlier from saying that School Song was the best song in that musical. No, it's When I Grow Up. That song is incredible. And Miss Honey gets the ending chorus as the music cuts out, and it's really more the kids singing at first. And then you get this ending chorus of her singing, and it like really shows you where she's at in her life now. And I think this movie tries to do that. And I think there are elements where they do, like when, Trunchbull threatens to break Miss Honey's arm, and she's like, I'm not 7 years old anymore, Aunt Trunchbull, right? Like, that's good. It's just not enough. Like, I need more, right? I need more of that interaction because yes, she is afraid of this woman, but also she is breaking into her home. She is her boss, right? And maybe she's her aunt, but we don't really get a ton of things that make it seem like this this fear is coming from past circumstances rather than her current circumstances. Because I could see any other teacher in the school doing a lot of the same things that Miss Honey does throughout this movie. Connecting emotionally with her is difficult for me. I'm just going to say that myself.
Okay.
And that's not my biggest critique.
No, I agree with that. I don't think Miss Honey's the actress that played her. I don't think she has the best performance. Quite honestly, like out of all of the adults in this movie, I think she has the worst acting performance, in my opinion. It doesn't take away from my enjoyment of the movie, but I agree with you that she has the worst acting performance. And I understand that would be something that would make other people enjoy the movie less. That's fair. It's just not my reality, you know what I mean? But like that is very valid, I think. Like I honestly think that's a very valid critique. And when it comes to having more of Miss Honey and more of her character and all of that, I agree. I want that too. Again, it's not something that necessarily takes away from the movie for me. Maybe because I also don't have anything to compare it to, and this is the media that I consumed first and most. Whenever I do watch the musical version. So for that reason, like it doesn't take away from it for me. But I do agree that because Miss Honey is one of my favorite characters, not necessarily the acting performance, but the character itself. I do wish that we had more of her and that we were able to know more about her and where her character is coming from. Like we do get a little bit. I feel like we get just enough for me, but I do wish that we were able to get more. So
yeah. Miss Honey has become such an iconic character in pop culture. Whenever you talk about Matilda, Miss Honey's gonna be brought up pretty quickly. So it's very interesting to me how yes, you are right. The acting performances of I forget the actress's name, Embeth Davidtz. It's not the best. So it's crazy that we got so much love for Miss Honey when a performance is just not as great as everyone else's.
It's serviceable, it's just serviceable.
It's okay. I also do think that the biggest thing here is, of course, you have something to compare them to, right? We don't. So maybe that's why we don't have the same issue that you do have. So as stated, once we do watch the musical one, maybe we will agree with you, and maybe I will see more of your point of view.
Even without seeing the musical, I'm like, yeah, I agree. I do wish we got more of Miss Honey. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I just, I maybe watching the musical and having something to compare might take away a little bit from my enjoyment of this one. Maybe it won't. I think that is more where I lie.
Yeah, I was going more towards the acting performance actually rather than the actual character. Because yes, I do agree with you the most with the fact that we don't get a lot of Miss Honey in this movie outside of, like you said, Brooke, outside of like the interactions that she has with Matilda. And I also would be very interested in seeing more of Miss Honey outside of that and getting to know her personality a lot more. Because all that we know is how like she treats her kids and how much she loves her kids, but we don't know much of her outside of that. And we know a little bit of her story, like from a couple of years, like from when she was 7, like to when she was 4, like from 4 to 7. That's all we know about Miss Honey. Outside of that,
like, why did she want to become a teacher in the first place? Like the little things like that, right?
Yeah,
but it doesn't bother me because like that's not the movie's about Matilda. So, but like, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, absolutely. There's a lot more of Miss Honey that we should be getting, especially like with a character that is this beloved and this like nice. We should be getting a little bit more, and why she and Matilda connected so strongly, because like to me, it did like raise alarms a little bit when like Matilda has been in school for like a week at most, and Miss Honey is already inviting her over to come to her house. Like that, it is very quickly, and there is a little thing there of like, not only like maybe it's because now we live in a time in which that is not an appropriate thing to do, but also, to me it happened very quickly, and so I would like to understand why it happened so quickly and why she has this connection to Matilda, so like such a strong connection to Matilda instead of someone like Lavender. Why doesn't Miss Honey love Lavender as much as she loves Matilda? So that's my only thing. Yeah.
Right. Okay. What I think, right, is that, and what I get from watching the movie and from the story is that Miss Honey comes from an abusive family in the sense that after both of her parents died, she was raised by an abusive person. You know what I mean? Like she had a bad childhood. She felt like she was trapped with someone in a place, like in the house and all of that. So I feel like she saw that in Matilda.
Yeah.
And like she realized that, and she kind of felt like she wanted to kind of stop Matilda from going through what she went through. Like she kind of wanted to help where she could. I'm not saying I necessarily agree. Like today we know it's different, and we know that like we know here in the universe of the movie, we know her intentions and all of that, and we know that she's a good person and everything. I wouldn't say that I would agree today that a teacher should do that, right? What she did. But in the universe of the movie and what we know, I think it's fine. Like it doesn't, but I think that was the reason why she had such a strong connection. I think first what caught her attention was the genius, right?
Yeah.
Like she figured out like that, oh, it's a smart student. Maybe like I should move her up, whatever. Like as a teacher first, right? Is where she got that connection. And also as a teacher, when you see a student that is really good and like is excited also about like being smart and learning and all of that, you get excited because they're a minority, and that's, as a teacher, it's fun. It's also always exciting. But then because of that, she then got into the personal side, and then when she knew about the family and everything, and then I think she created that personal connection on top of already being like, a star student and all of that part of the like the school part, and then like the personal side.
Yeah.
But can I just say one more thing before we move on? We all want more of Miss Honey, right? We all agreed on that. But here's my thing. Would we want more of this performance on the screen?
I wouldn't.
Like, would we want more of her performance here in this movie, of this actress in this movie as Miss Honey? I'm good.
I personally would, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I can't connect with her because the scenes that they choose to show are just so bland for her. They don't give us that characterization. It's kind of like that random side character in the movie that they didn't decide to promote into part of the group in the sequel, right? If you give me a reason for why they're part of the main group in the sequel, I'm down, right? Like, I want to know more about this character. But until then, I just won't care, right? And that's kind of how I feel about Miss Honey in this, is that this performance is not great. They really didn't give her a ton to work with either, and that makes it harder for me to connect with her. But if they gave more for her to work with, maybe I would connect with her more. Yeah. So, kind of the catch-22 of current state, no, but like if they gave her more, it would probably be better. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. Also, like, one thing about this movie is that, to me, like, yes, it's whimsical, it's magical, like it's to me, it's a feel-good movie, it's a comfort movie, whatever, but it's also, like, when you really think about it, like, there's the comedy side of it, I think, is because of that, because it's actually really sad, right? Like, it's actually a really sad story, with, albeit, a happy ending, right? Like, out of the reality that Matilda was in, she had a good, happy ending in that sense. But the fact that she had to go through all of that is so fucked up. Like, from being born, and the day you were born, you were just left in the car, forgotten in the car. Like, on the day you were born. You know what I mean? Like, everything, literally everything. And so to me, also, the powers and, like, Miss Honey and all of that with Matilda hearing the story, to me, from the kid perspective, is kind of to show hope, right? Like, I imagine, like, a kid in an abusive home watching this movie would kind of be like, okay, maybe there's a way out for me too. Maybe not in the same way, you know what I mean? Like, but like, maybe I can survive too, whatever. Like, kind of like Miss Honey, you know what I mean? Like, she also survived, and whenever she had the opportunity to leave, she did, and she figured it out, whatever. She built a life for herself, and, you know, and then is helping another child to do the same, kind of, you know what I mean? And so, and then from the adult side, you feel for the kid, or maybe you recognize yourself in one of the kids, or maybe, you know. To me, I really relate to Matilda, and there are two quotes from the beginning, the narration that you hate, Brooke, so much, which we talked about, but like the quotes that I'm gonna say, I'm playing around. But these two quotes were narrated by Danny DeVito in the beginning of the movie. And I think they express exactly why I related to Matilda so much, because it just replaced the names, you know what I mean? And the first one goes, Matilda was left alone, and that's how she liked it. That is me. I feel that. Yeah. And then the other one was, Matilda already knew that she was somewhat different from her family. She saw that whatever she needed in this world, she'd have to get herself. And to me, I relate to that in the way that I always had everything that I needed from my family, like materially and like physically and all of that. Like I always had like a good life in the material sense. But when it came to life stuff and emotional stuff, like after I was like maybe 6 or 7 years old, I realized that my parents did not have the answers to the questions that I had. You know what I mean? I would have to figure out a lot of stuff, like that life stuff. You know what I mean? I would have to figure out a lot of that and myself, and also I with interacting within my family, I was always treated well. Like I had a good childhood for the most part, I would say. But I always felt so different from my family. Like they didn't treat me badly. I just never felt, when you don't feel part of a friend group, and you feel like they just invited you because they had to. Like my family loves me, but I always felt like an outsider inside of my family, if that makes sense. Yeah. And so, and then I got my autism diagnosis, and then, well, here we are, you know what I mean? And so there was a reason. Which also one of I think one of the reasons also is like Matilda. There are other reasons why she's the way she is, but like she's a little autistic coded. I wouldn't say like the character is autistic, but like a few things about the character are, fitting.
Yeah. She's autistic, I'll say it.
For example, when her dad says like when people are bad or whatever, they deserve to be punished. And she goes, "Oh, you said people, not children." She takes it
So I can
literally.
punish you.
So I can punish you. She's like, "Oh, you said person, not child."
Yeah.
Got it. So I can punish you. You know what I mean? Like that's very
Okay.
Yeah, taking
Very-
things literally.
Hyper
Very
obsession with reading, struggle with social interaction with her peers.
Yes.
It gets treated differently, moderately precocious. Family doesn't understand her. My personal
likes alone
favorite thing
time.
out of all of this is a strong, rigid sense of morality, which is literally just Matilda coded in
Dad,
jail.
you're a crook.
Yeah.
This is illegal.
Literally that, and then my personal big thing here is literally obsessed with being correct. Okay, she doesn't care if it's going to get her in trouble. Like Ms. Trunchbull, I bet you put the newt in my glass. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Now, granted, is she standing up for her friend in the moment? Yes. But also, she's not taking the fall for her either, right? This girl is the most autistic coded autism I have seen in a movie maybe ever. Okay?
Well, you said it.
Autistic. Autism. Coming from an autist myself.
Well, that's the thing. Me too. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't been diagnosed, but who knows? Woo!
No one here is neurotypical. Let's just put it that way. Eduardo's
Yeah,
ADHD.
probably not.
Babe, you got something.
something.
Yeah, absolutely.
got
That's
something.
for sure. I have something,
Something is going on,
What it
for
is,
sure.
who knows? But something's going on.
Correct. So I did want to touch on my actual biggest problem with the movie.
Go ahead.
This plot cannot make up its damn mind.
That
And
is
I
true.
think like this plot wants to go, like, okay, it starts off the first, 20 minutes of this movie, 20, 25 minutes of this movie is Matilda and her parents being awful, right?
Mhm.
And then Matilda is suddenly in her school. And then the parents take backseat for the rest of the movie. And it becomes Matilda is learning, but Matilda's already smart. And then she's in a good place. And then her principal's evil. Okay, cool. But her evil principal got cheated by her evil father. And now her evil principal thinks she's just like her evil father. Even though before that, she thought that her dad was cool and that Matilda was already awful. So what is tracking here for me? Then on top of all of that, you have to deal with the telekinesis stuff, which is an entirely new plot wrinkle that gets added over halfway into the film. Let's just be blunt. That I will say is cool as shit and should have been added into this movie much earlier.
Absolutely.
But by the time the movie gets done, you're just like, what happened? What actually happened in this movie? It's one of those films where it has 80,000 plot threads that spurt out of the start. And then by the time you're done, some of them get wrapped up, others don't.
What happened was Trunchbull gave the house back. She left. The police Matilda's dad was knew he was about to get caught by the police and decided he was gonna move to Guam so he wouldn't get caught, and they were gonna do it. And Matilda kind of probably is so smart that she had figured out that eventually she was gonna have to escape her family. So that's why she already had the papers prepared, because that bitch is autistic. So she was ready, that.
She had them ever since she learned how to Xerox. I mean, really.
Yeah, there you go.
Girl, hello. She had copies saved in 3 different places in the house.
She was ready to
She
go.
was ready. She was packed.
She was ready to get out of there.
But on the subject of the ending,
I'm just kidding. It is all over the place. I'm not negating that. I'm just saying,
I get that. The ending itself, I don't find that satisfying either, right? Because Trunchbull gets hers, right? She gets ran out of town, loses her job,
That is
loses
so
her power
funny, by the
over
way.
Miss Honey.
The
It's
cosplaying the
that
ghost.
Part,
I'm obsessed.
yeah.
Obsessed.
Also, fun fact: that portrait that's Magnus, by the way, is actually Roald Dahl. I find that fucking hysterical.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but so Miss Trunchbull gets hers, right? But what happens to her parents? They win. Look, what negative consequence do they have by the end of this movie? Okay, they're moving to Guam. Yeah. They seem to be pretty enthused about it themselves. So they're whatever. Granted, they're on the run from the police, but quite frankly, they say they got away in the narration at the end. So clearly, they didn't get caught on their way to the airport, and they made it to Guam, right? Mm-hmm. They lose the child they don't like. They get to keep the kid they do like. How does this ending have any sort of negative repercussion for them in any way?
See, but here's my thing. I don't really care about that because Matilda got what she wanted. Like, okay, because here's the thing, with her, right? With her, like, should they have been arrested for child neglect or whatever? Yes. Should they have been arrested, or he have been arrested for the car stuff? Yes, because he was actually, being horrible to other people, not just the daughter. And I mean, like, other people face the consequences of what he was doing. So yeah, I do wish that maybe he had been like caught or whatever for that. But also, like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Because for me, at least, if we're taking like the serious route, like if I'm thinking of like these are real people, like if this was a real situation, people like that are never going to truly feel good about themselves and be happy. So like that's enough for me. You know what I mean? If they were able to treat a child like that, they are I don't care what happens to them. Yeah. I would care if they had gotten like a reward for it. Then I would care, right? But like just getting away with it is like, that is the maximum that I will accept. Like if they have gotten something, a bonus for it, you know what I mean? Like it's just like clean slate, you know what I mean? Like we'll let, like, here, be happy, we'll go whatever. And here's my thing, I love this movie so much because it is so pro-abortion. Like I'm not saying Matilda shouldn't exist, right? But like those people should not have been parents. That is the point. Because this movie would not have existed. Like why it's one of the things, I'm not going to go off, but I do get really pissed off about this, about why people want to have children so much and why people do have children even when they don't want. Like it just makes me so upset, and I'll stop there.
Because people don't know how to use condoms. That's why. But my big thing is this. You say if they got a reward, it would be worse. They kind of do. And maybe not from like the outsider perspective, but from their perspective, right? They're going on permanent vacation. They lose the kid they don't like, right? Regardless of how much we love and enjoy Matilda and how much like we know that she is awesome and really cool and great, and we're happy for her to get away from these people, they're probably just as happy to lose her, let's be honest. So like for them, right, when they get away, they get out of this entire situation, and if the whole movie is when people do something wrong, they deserve to be punished, I don't think that happened here. And because of that, I struggle myself to reconcile with this ending of like, and this is a problem I've had with every version of Matilda I have ever seen, because they all end at least somewhat similarly. Like the movie musical, they go to Spain instead of Guam. Like, you know, there's just small changes. But it always ends, every version of Matilda that I've ever seen ends with Miss Honey taking care of Matilda, the parents get away, whatever. It just isn't satisfying. And I'm not saying everybody always needs to get their comeuppance in every movie. But in a movie that is literally built around getting revenge, the entire film, its conceit is around getting revenge on the people that have wronged you. It's not satisfying.
I understand that and I respect that. It didn't bother me in any way, shape, or form personally. The fact that River said, "I am done. I will not be listening to this anymore."
River will be back in a second, I'm assuming. It's probably a tech thing. River had a little bit of
probably a tech thing, do not worry. But yeah, I will say it did not bother me at all. The fact that, like, you know, they get away and they didn't get their comeuppance. I understand the point of view of that, of like, yeah, the whole story is people should be punished when they do bad things, and the father, the one that says this quote, did not get their comeuppance. But at the end of the day, it didn't bother me, because at the end of the day, I was more focused on Matilda, and also the story, like you said, Brooke, the plot doesn't know where it's going, and I agree with you there as well. So specifically when it comes to like Miss Trunchbull and like the parents, like you said, take a take a back seat to Miss Trunchbull, and so I think the movie kind of forgot a little bit about like punishing the parents, but I was satisfied enough with Miss Trunchbull getting her comeuppance and that being like the revenge of it all. I didn't really need the parents to really get punished.
All right, we're back. Had to take a little pause there to make sure you're back in.
Yeah.
Fuck my Wi-Fi, bro. Fuck that.
Don't we love it when our internet hates us? The lights have went out on at least 2 out of the 3 members of this podcast to this point. I hope I shall not.
I could not use my powers to bring it back. Sorry.
Yeah. It's
Eduardo,
okay.
you're saying?
No, I will say at some point, Brooke, you will have an issue with your internet, and we will fill the trifecta. We will complete the trifecta. Okay. I was also going to say right before River left as well. I also wanted to bring up. You mentioned, Brooke, the fact that some of these, like, the plot doesn't know where it's going. And I agree with you there specifically with, like, there's one very iconic scene that we all love. But in theory, we could have done without this scene. Like, it's not really necessary to the plot at all. And it's just there, which is the Bruce scene.
The cake scene, yeah.
We did not really need the Bruce scene. Is it iconic? Yes. Do I love that scene? Absolutely. Was it necessary to the plot and did it add anything to the movie? Actually, not really. But it's a great
just
scene.
to the evilness of the character, like just to kind of show more of Trunchbull's like evilness and whatever. Like, but we didn't need more scene, like an extra. We didn't need that scene.
Yeah, we didn't really need that, but it's okay. It's okay. I do think it is one of the most iconic scenes, and I do think that whoever plays Bruce did a great job at doing this, because this is a very weird task to be done. Eat this whole damn cake, or at least act like you're eating this whole damn cake. It's crazy. So shout out to whoever plays
a plus size actor to play the role.
Yeah, Brooke just showed me
Matilda the musical, you hags.
Yeah, Brooke just showed me how Bruce looks on the musical, and that's crazy. That's crazy and disrespectful.
I want to be clear. I'm not just an unabashed stan of Matilda the musical. That also has problems. But the fact that we got a child playing Bruce, a younger version of Bruce, by the way, who's also in Matilda's class, if I remember correctly, so don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the twist there. But you get a kid playing this role, and instead of casting a plus-size actor, you get a, 8 or 9-year-old, and you put him in a fat suit.
Oh.
Yeah, no, not good. His head looks this big, and his body looks this big. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's not one of those things where, it's just he has, a smaller head on a bigger body. Like, you look down, they only did the fat suit for, his torso. So if you look at his legs compared to his body, it is completely unproportionate. It looks so awful. So I will give you this, Matilda 96. You at least cast a plus-size actor for that, so thank you very much.
Good job.
And also, Cookie's iconic. Shout out, Cookie.
Shout out, Cookie. I'll see you at lunch.
See you at lunch. Scratch. Yeah, I've got most of my comments out. I just want to be clear. I really did come into this thinking I was going to like it again on rewatch, and on rewatch it just didn't hit for me, and I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Some that happens sometimes. There's remember Ender's Game? We've been on the other side. It's fine. Yeah. It's bound to happen eventually.
Ender's Game. Are we gonna ever let Ender's Game go? Are we gonna let it breathe?
No.
I am not. Personally, no.
Never. No. I was too nice.
I will be on your neck forever, Brooke. On your neck.
I thought we agreed we were gonna dump on Gosford Park instead of Ender's Game from now on.
Yes, we are, but we will always
why not both?
Ender's Game whenever we can and judge you for it, Brooke.
It was the moment where you chose to use your powers for evil. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Well, them's the breaks, I suppose. Are we ready to talk about scores? Do we have anything else we'd like to throw in there?
Look, I'll get to it when I get to my scores. Yeah.
I forgot. I have one more thing because I meant to mention this and I was thinking, like, is there anything I'm forgetting? No, there's something I'm forgetting for sure. So this film's soundtrack has 2 songs that I would consider to be relatively iconic parts of this movie. One of which is Little Bit of Pretty One, which is not the best version of that song, but it works in the movie. I'm not going to complain. Sure, cool. Mm-hmm. However, Send Me On My Way, which they play twice in this movie. I like the song. I don't mind it in the context of the film. I want to get both of those things out of here. Every time I hear this song used in any piece of media, I will immediately start thinking about Ice Age. And I don't think I'm alone in that. And then 2, on top of it, you played it twice. Interesting choice. Not saying it's a bad choice. Just interesting. If we're going to layer the typical song used in movie soundtrack is going to include 2 instances of one of the most overused songs maybe in cinema in the past 3 decades. So no shade. It's just I wanted to bring it up because it was something I did actively notice during the film. I was like, oh, okay. I like the song, but why am I not seeing ugly CGI from Blue Sky?
R.I.P. Blue Sky, you will always be remembered.
That terrifying baby. But
I want to fucking kick that baby to the curb. Like, I swear to God. Whenever I see that baby, I feel violent. Anyways.
All right. So, River, as this was your selection, as we now get into scores, you will go first.
All right. I'm going to keep it short. Critiques are valid. I have some myself. It doesn't really matter. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. And it's a 5 out of 5 to me, personally. Period. And thank you, Danny DeVito. Thank you so much.
Danny DeVito, I love your work.
Thank you for your service. Danny DeVito, I love your work. Danny DeVito, why are you white?
I'm going to scream. Okay. Yeah, I really wanted to give this a higher score, but then I've compared it to other movies with like similar scores that I've given out. And like, is this a better movie than like the only other movie I've given a 2 to? No. And so I'm going to give it a 2. I think this is about on par with where I have Opayo. I think they're about equivalent to me in terms of my enjoyment. And as such, I don't want to rate this higher than that. I don't think that's fair. So that's where we're at. Here we are.
Yeah, that is respectable. For me, I obviously fall closer to River than I do to Brook. This movie has a lot of nostalgia to me as well. And this is the first time, I think, in this podcast where nostalgia just fully takes over and there's nothing you can really say about it. Like, it's one of those movies that, yes, there's issues with this movie. It's absolutely not perfect. But whenever I watch it, I feel joy, like, unlike anything else. And for that reason and that reason alone, I have to give it a 5 out of 5 because it's my childhood as well.
No, there you go.
It's the case of it's not perfect, but it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Yeah.
Look, have there been movies on this podcast that I have brought to you that I acknowledge have severe problems, but I still gave them a 5 out of 5? Yes.
Ender's Game.
Ender's Game. Hi. So yes. So next up, we are talking about another movie from the River Birthday Selection catalog. So River, let the people at home know what we're talking about next week.
To go now that we did like one of the movies that I've seen the most throughout my life, I wanted to go with a movie that I've seen not that many times, honestly. I think I maybe saw this movie like maybe 3 times, 4 at most throughout my lifetime. But I haven't seen it in, I would say, like in over 7 years. I think like it's been a long time since the last time I watched this movie, maybe 10 years even. I remember watching this movie mostly when I was like a teenager. And I am very excited. I chose this because I'm excited to revisit it as an adult. because I remember loving it so much when I was a teenager, and I would watch it, and I would relate to both characters of this movie. And I feel like on this rewatch, I am still going to continue relating to characters in this movie, but we shall see. But it's also a movie I'm excited to share with both of you. So we are doing Uptown Girls.
Uptown Girls from 2003, starring the late Brittany Murphy, icon, and Dakota Fanning.
Icon.
So there you go.
Also icon. Like two icons.
Yes.
Well,
now,
to me.
I do think now here is the part where we normally give hints. Now you might be expecting River to be giving the hints this month. However, we got a little something coming up after Uptown Girls. There will be a brief interlude in the birthday month of River. All I'm going to say is this. There is a movie that we talk about a decent amount on this podcast that is having an anniversary coming up in July. We are not going to say the movie. If you piece it together yourself, great. But we will be doing our first of a few this year of a very special episode after we cover Uptown Girls. Now, what movie is it? I don't know. You're going to have to tune in to find out, or just watch to the end of our Uptown Girls review where we will tell you there. So keep an eye out for that. Get excited. And then, of course, once we finish that movie, it will go right back to your regularly scheduled River Birthday Month programming. But until next time, everybody, join us next time when we talk about Uptown Girls. But we have unfortunately ran out of popcorn, drank our entire soft drink, and nobody ever gets more than one soft pretzel. So we will see you next time, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Danny DeVito, love your work. Yay.
Bye.